everything?
Everything's recording,
Woo.
yeah. So I have that so I can see.
Okay. Hello, Western State. My name is Haley Parker. This is my co-host, Michael Adam Royer.
Check.
And this is a legal podcast called The State of Western. And today we have a very special guest, Sabrina Narain.
Hello.
And she's an alumni of the school. She graduated in 2014. We're going to chat with her a little bit later today, so that's going to be cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
Absolutely.
I'm just going to interject real quickly about the name of the podcast. It is State of Western, although I had suggested a name that was going to be Badgering the Witness, a legal podcast.
Exactly.
But it got nixed, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, it got nixed. We want to do this show every week if we can, so...
If our viewers could call in right now, we have the phone lines
Yeah.
open and
Gosh.
vote on which name you prefer.
Yeah. Call the phone lines. But anyway, we have a few. We want to update you guys on a few things that are going on at the school. This week, we're going to have a blood drive for the law review, and that is going to be on Monday, October 15th. From 11 to 5 right here on campus. Outside, there's going to be a blood bus, I guess, something out there taking blood.
Yep, yeah, it's great. Everyone should definitely try and donate some blood if you can. Obviously, there's lots of people out there who need it.
Yeah.
And you get some like free food and free treats if
Wait,
you do
you
that.
get free food?
Oh yeah, so come on in, do that. You know, they gotta hook you up a little bit for donating.
What do they give you?
Desserts.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I don't know exactly, but yeah.
That's really nice. Okay. Well, then we have an empowerment session that SBA is doing. It's here on campus on October 29th from 3 to 4:30. And basically they told me that it's just basically a venting session for the students to come to and let students share their struggles. They're going to have alumni here and the psychologist is going to be here. It's just kind of like for students to come and unwind and be empowered. So that'll be cool. And then we have the La Vida Cantina Bar Review. That's going to be fun. It's called La Vida, play on words. It's going to be at the Costa Mesa Triangle at La Vida on October 16th. And that's this Tuesday, so make sure you come. That's going to be fun. Are you coming?
Tuesdays, I can't make it because I have my son, but yeah.
Okay, that's
Otherwise, I would be there. La Vida is very cool.
Yes, it's going to be
It's
so
a good
fun. Have you ever
time.
been?
I don't think I've ever been, no.
Do you
Oh,
ever
man.
go out in like Newport Beach?
Not that often, no. Because I lived mostly in North Orange County for so long.
Okay.
So because of that, I don't really make it down in the other direction.
It's
Newport
so
Beach
fun.
is a good time. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of good bars out there.
La Vida is definitely the place to be. And then this week is also Public Service Week, and that starts today until October 26th. So that's going to be nice. Look up to your organizations for that. And then the last thing that we have is the Halloween Bar Review, and that's going to be a costume party. And that is at Cabo Cantina on Friday, October 26th. So come to that. That's
Nice.
gonna be
Lots
fun.
of cool stuff going on right now at the school. And one thing I want to talk a little about is what has happened. What's been going on at school, if you want to maybe fill us in a little bit. I know we had the kickball tournament.
Oh yeah, we did. That was the first SBA kickball tournament. They've never had anything like that before. We had
Looked like
three
it was a lot of
teams.
fun.
Yeah,
I was following along on like the
Yeah.
SBA Instagram page.
yeah,
The Western State SBA has an Instagram page.
yeah.
Western State has an Instagram
pretty lit.
page.
Oh, nice.
Most of the like student orgs have Instagram pages. It's pretty dope. Like
Yeah.
you can keep in touch and see what's going on, and I like it. And
Yeah, we had three teams. It was pitch please, where
so
my pitch is
inappropriate.
at,
So inappropriate.
and then the last team was new kicks on the block, and they didn't win. And neither.
Speaking of like social media and stuff, we need to start a social media for this.
I know we
And
do.
so keep an eye out for that so you can follow our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Everything.
We're gonna be creating a lot of social media.
Yeah. You said
pages
YouTube, right?
Oh, YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube and
Yeah.
stuff.
Do that. We'll give you all that information later.
Yeah, but I also wanted to talk for a second about this podcast. So,
Mhm.
Haley is the communications chair
Yes.
for the SBA, Student Bar Association, and this summer she was like, taking over for this year, and she was talking about how she wanted to do a podcast. She wanted to kind of make the Western State SBA kind of be on the, be more cutting edge.
Yeah, we want to put the school on the map.
And so right now the communications committee does a monthly newsletter called The Precedent, which was
Mhm.
published, which I think was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I don't know how much like viewership or readers that it
Yeah.
really got. I mean, I would look at it from time to time, but it wasn't
Scroll
really
through.
hyped up that much.
Yeah.
And so she came to me with the idea this summer, hey, let's do this podcast. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. And then we kind of lost track of it, get busy with the start of the semester. I had some things going on in my personal life, so we couldn't do it. And then finally we decided to get it started back up. So I was like, this is really cool. And we owe it all to our SBA chair, Haley Parker.
Yeah.
So a little round of applause
And
to her
Adam. Adam helped me a lot with
for
it. I
starting
wouldn't
this
have
up.
been able to do it.
And we've been working on it for weeks now.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to kick it off with you as our special guest.
I'm very happy to be here.
Like I was saying before we started recording, I feel like it's such an awesome guest to start with because she's an alumni, kind of recent, 4 or 5 years ago, and she's doing something really awesome, which is running for Fullerton City Council.
Yes.
5th District.
Yes.
There we go.
Represent.
Yes.
So all our Fullerton people need to get out there and vote for her.
Yes. Your vote by mail ballots are in. They were distributed on October 8th.
Oh, that's
And
true. Yeah.
I have officially seen my name on it because this morning someone that I know messaged me and let me know that they were voting for me. So
That's nice.
vote by mail, vote in person, it doesn't matter. Register to vote and get your name out there and read up about the candidates. And even if you do it in a very minimal sense, you're doing much more than a lot of other people are doing.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you, what led you to want to run for city council?
Yeah.
Is it because you watch Parks and Recreation and you wanted to be like Leslie Knope?
absolutely.
Okay,
I've never
that's
seen
what I
that
was
show.
assuming. Oh my gosh, you've never seen Parks and Recreation?
No, I feel
It's
like I'm
fun.
at the loop.
Okay, you're
That's why
usually in the loop
I
on like
know,
shows.
TV
We
shows.
watch a lot of the same shows.
Okay.
Like the Ozark.
Yeah.
Have you seen that on
I have
Netflix?
not. I've heard of it though.
Okay. Okay. That's
What
good.
else do we watch? Game of Thrones. You
Game of
watch
Thrones.
A really good show to watch right now on Netflix is the show Easy.
Easy.
I haven't
seen
heard
it.
of that.
It's great. It's 30-minute shows, and they go through like weird real life situations. Different actors, so it's a different play on different actors every time, and then it keeps expanding. But it's very graphic sometimes, and like they're very open about sexuality. The director is very open about sexuality. And he's very open about hot topics, so it's a really fun show. So
It's
I
called
recommend
Easy?
Easy, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'll
That
check
sounds
that
good.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, not that us law students have like unlimited time.
I know,
on
we
it.
make the time.
That's why
to watch-
I've been watching I just started like binge watching Parks and Rec because it's like an easy show. You can like tune in and tune out.
While
I can be doing the
studying.
dishes or like doing a couple things and like you don't have. Whereas like Game of Thrones,
You
Ozark,
have to be.
those types of shows like you really have to be in. What other shows do you watch? Or
Um,
have you watched like in the past that might be big ones like The Walking Dead or?
I've watched The Walking Dead. I'm a big fan of Scandal. Sometimes my
Yes.
Instagram posts say things like, "This outfit was inspired by Olivia Pope."
I never saw
My
Scandal.
San Francisco outfit yesterday
I've heard of it.
did say that. I did watch Orange Is the New Black.
I watched that and I fell off.
I gave it a
I think I
shot.
fell
I
off.
wasn't
Yeah,
feeling it
after the
a couple
second
episodes.
season, it just kind of
Yeah.
fell off.
But just, whatever's entertaining
Yeah.
for the most part. I stay away from reality TV. It's not really for me very much. But
Reality
Yeah, me
TV's
too.
dead.
I
yeah.
don't even watch that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anyone watched that.
But yeah, so back to your question.
Let's get back on
Your original
topic.
question, right?
So why did I decide to run for city council? So I've been living in Fullerton the entire time that I've been in California. I moved to California in 2011, and I moved to the city of Fullerton, and I pretty much never left. And I lived in a different district than where I'm running for the first year, but then I moved to the 5th district 6 years ago, because I've been
Okay.
here for 7 years total.
Okay.
Wow, that's quite a while.
Yeah, and I lived in the same apartment, same place until very recently I moved into a house, but
Wow.
I was in an apartment in the 5th district for 6 years on a street that was across street from a park that was completely closed off. The city literally never did anything with it. When the homeless population took a skyrocket up in the air, Fullerton really got hit with that because it's North Orange County. They're unfortunately not going to send them into South Orange County because they would never
Exactly.
allow that, right?
Yeah.
So
Are
there's
you talking about like the recent issues that I've seen in the news about like the homeless? They were like trying to relocate them and stuff. Is that what you're talking about, or some previous to that?
I do mean that. I just mean like generally the homeless issue in the last 5 years because
Okay.
I don't know if
It's
you
spiked.
guys. Right. I don't know if you guys remember the Santa Ana riverbed being saturated.
No, but I
That
heard
was
about
recent,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That they like kicked everyone out of there.
Yeah, that was pursuant to a lawsuit, actually, that the city got
Mm.
sued or the county got sued, and they had to do something about it. So
Mhm.
then when they relocated them and they went through their relocation procedure, they pretty much moved up into North County or into LA, right? So
Okay.
from my experience, I knew that my district wasn't being very well taken care of or represented. It's a very industrial district, and there's a lot of minorities. It's probably like 95% minorities.
Oh wow.
So someone had, told me that a position for city council was opening up, and that this year was the first year they were doing it per district rather than doing it for the entire city.
So it used to be they just started doing the wards.
They just started doing
Okay,
wards.
because I live in Santa Ana, so I know that they've been on wards. At least I've been there for like 2 years. I know they've been doing it like that since I've been living there. I have no idea how long, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's new to Fullerton.
Okay.
So, me being a full-time lawyer and just busy in general, I was like, I think this is something that I could really do and really get into, and it'd be a little bit more manageable for my first time
Yeah,
running
it's a good
for a
start.
political office. So I decided to do it, and I had some support from businesses in downtown Fullerton and lots of people from Fullerton. Not all of them live in the 5th district, so it's been a little bit challenging because you can only vote for me if you live in the 5th district.
Oh, okay.
Right, you can't
Okay.
vote for me if you live in a different district. But it's been interesting because I didn't hire a political consultant. I did not hire a campaign manager.
So you're doing this all on your
Yeah,
own?
my amazing boyfriend, Sapir Abdullahi, he is my campaign manager, and he
Oh,
does an
that's so
awesome
nice.
job.
Wow, you
That's
are
great.
totally Leslie Knope. Her boyfriend was her campaign manager
What?
Yeah.
too.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
That's epic.
That's
you,
all-
need, you need a reality
I
show.
know.
That's, you know what, you gotta use the resources that you got,
Right,
right?
that's true.
And he just is so great. Check out my website. He spent so much time on it, did a fantastic
Yeah.
job on it.
He built that for you?
Yes. he
What's your
did.
website?
It's sabrinafullerton.com.
Okay.
Very easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check it out. So it's it's been challenging because I don't have the funding that some of these other candidates have, because a lot of these other candidates are older and they.
Is this their first? This isn't their first time running.
Oh,
So
no.
they're like, okay.
One of the candidates is actually the mayor's wife. So, it's all politics. When they
Wow.
say it's politics,
Yeah.
this is what I mean by it's all politics. So it's been interesting to just learn the procedure from beginning to end. But yeah, they spend like $100,000, $150,000
Oh my
on these
gosh.
campaigns, and they pay like $2,500 a month for the position.
Jeez.
It's something that you quit your
Yeah.
job over.
Yeah.
But a lot of these other candidates are retired, so they have these
The time too.
Time, money.
campaign events where they set them up at like 12 o'clock at noon. I'm in a deposition, and I'm like, where is the middle ground for the working professional to get into this industry? And it's been a little bit challenging in that sense, and I think it really goes back to politics, because everybody in everybody in Fullerton that's currently sitting on the councilman board, they all know each other, they're all interrelated one way or another. And the 5th district has been really vocal that they want to step away from that,
That's good.
right? That they don't want people like that. They don't want the mayor's wife running.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily even want Fullerton locals. Like some of these council members say, oh, when I went to Troy High School, I did this and I did that, and all my kids go, to this school, and they're very involved in the community, and that's all great and dandy. But if everybody's interrelated and it's just a boys' town, we're not getting anything done.
Yeah.
So what I hope to bring from my own personal experience, from my professional experience, is diversity, a different perspective. I'm not from California.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from New York originally. I
Boo
lived in
Yankees.
Boston.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, go Yankees. I lived in Boston.
Go
I
Red
lived
Sox.
in Maine. I went to undergrad in Florida. I
Okay.
I
All
come
over the
from
place.
a very all over the place background, and I think that there is a lot to offer from a street sense point, from a common sense point,
From
just
a
from
legal sense point.
a legal
Yeah.
point. And then on top of that, I am an attorney and I deal regularly with the city. My firm represents the city of Compton. We do a lot of stuff for the city of Los Angeles. I have brought claims against city officials.
So you're familiar with all that stuff.
Yes, government entities, administrative
Political process,
agencies.
yeah,
So,
agencies.
I'm not totally new to what it takes to get the job done. I'm new to the political nature of getting into the position.
Okay.
How many people are running in that district?
Officially, there are 6.
Wow.
I think there's one that is not on the ballot but is going to write his name in, is my
Do
understanding.
you have to live in the district to run?
You do.
Okay,
Yes,
so
you
the
do.
mayor and his wife live in your district.
They don't.
What?
Yes,
How's
and that's
that-
been
how
a
they do
very,
that?
it's a fun topic for a podcast because it's
Yeah.
been very controversial.
You just said you have to live in the district.
Absolutely.
And, what is she like, renting an
Yeah,
apartment there or
exactly. How are
something?
they doing that?
So apparently she's renting an apartment in District 5. I
Just so
understand.
she can run.
Yes, I understand they live in District
Wow.
2. I also understand that Paulette Chafee has recently suspended her campaign because
Is
she's
that the mayor's wife? that you're
Yes.
speaking? Okay.
She has recently suspended her campaign because she was caught going around stealing signs.
Stealing like other people's signs?
Yes,
That's
including
hilarious.
mine, because
Oh
there's
my gosh.
many signs that are gone. So I have since emailed Mrs. Chafee and asked her to return my signs because they're very expensive
Yes.
and they are not cheap.
Yeah.
I have not heard back from her, of course, but I've heard from a local business in the 5th District as well that they know someone that she's hired to
Take down
go
signs.
take down these signs,
Oh
and
my
he's
goodness.
made quite a bit of money.
This is horrible.
This
is
For
dirty. Politics.
A
Dirty,
local city
yeah.
council. Like, she doesn't live there. And like she lives in Fullerton, but not in that district. To me, that's not cool. Like,
Right.
don't go rent an apartment in another district or ward or whatever you want to call it, just so you can run. And then you're going around and stealing other people's signs.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just-
come on. This is local city council politics. Like, this is supposed to be grassroots type good
Yeah.
people stepping up and representing their city, which is exactly what it sounds like you're trying to do and you're gonna do. And I really applaud you on that. It sounds
Thank
awesome.
you. I
hope you
appreciate
win.
that.
And it's kind of like the underdog against, like, her who's to me like coming from a political party or a political family, not party, but husband's a mayor and stuff, just trying to build their little political empire. Hope you take him down.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
hope so too. And you know what? I'm hopeful for this year, but if not, I'll do it again in 2020 and I'll keep doing it until I win so
That's
that I
right.
can break that surface,
That's
because
awesome.
it's really interesting to see how the boys club is actually playing out,
Mhm.
and how prevalent it is. And that's not what citizens want.
It's not good. It's not good for the community.
They don't care about the boys
They're
club.
probably just doing deals with businesses and getting handouts under the table and stuff and
Yeah, they're
helping
not for
their
the
friends
people.
and their buddies out and stuff. Not
Mhm.
exactly, not for the people. So
That's exactly true. And Fullerton has a big issue with maintaining local businesses in the sense that they can be very discriminatory against who they issue licenses out to. And that's been part of my political campaign and part of my drive, is that I am a business attorney. I understand the red tape that comes with opening up a business, maintaining a business, growing a business. And I understand the red tape that Fullerton puts up when it comes to trying to survive as a local business owner. So with all that being said, it's been fun, and
That's great.
I'm very excited for it, and we'll see what happens. Vote Sabrina!
Yay! So I know you told me a little bit before the interview that you work for Sanders Roberts, and it's an basically all minority firm. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we are a very, very diverse law firm. We have about 5 or 6 attorneys, so it's a boutique firm. It's
Okay.
pretty small. We represent mostly institutions, so we represent Ford Motor Company, other companies like LAUSD. We represent the city of Compton. We've got accounts all over the place for small and big businesses, but the bulk of our work is institutional work.
Wow.
It's pretty much all litigation. Oh, we also do criminal law too. If anything needs any,
it's kind of random.
criminal
Yeah,
lawyers.
I know.
Just
we
throw
do.
a little
Sprinkle.
criminal law in there.
Throw a little criminal in there. We do some administrative agency stuff. We pretty much do anything, but our biggest focal point is more institutional work.
Yeah, I checked you out online before the podcast, and I saw that, and I was like, that's a little interesting. Like, you wouldn't think of someone who works for that type of firm as running for city council. I
Yeah.
feel like, because you know, kind of the idea that I have at least is like those firms and people who represent like Ford
Big
and
businesses,
big businesses
yeah.
are like anti-community, but it sounds like you're completely opposite of that, so that's really cool.
You know, that's a really interesting point that you bring up, because with my campaign, it's been a fine line of not scaring people for coming off as too pro-business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I represent really big companies, it can come off like I don't really care about the little person, and that is not true. I think that there's a balance that needs to be made between the two, and that has been challenging in trying to market myself to the ordinary everyday person, because if I lead with I defend against consumer protection claims, which is what I do.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the website, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it
And then
doesn't-
I looked at
right.
your website, and I was like, okay, kind of contradictory.
Yeah, the two.
Right. So, you know, I was joking the other day. I said, oh, I just got off the phone with Ford. I told someone, they go, Henry Ford. I go, yeah, Henry Ford telling consumers to go screw off one person at a time. And totally joking, right? But, you know, I am a litigator against consumer protection litigation. And I think that what I do, and I'd love to get into it when we get into a good point, I think that what I do is really fighting the good fight. And I don't see it as, you know, I'm this big bad $1 billion corporation that is, you know, trying to nickel and dime everyone because maybe we put a bad product out there and we're trying to do a CYA. I don't see my job like that whatsoever, not even a little bit. So it's been difficult in my campaign to communicate that to the ordinary person so that they're not totally turned off by what my purpose is. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's very true.
Mhm.
It's very true.
Well, I mean, you know, the way I look at it is you sue these big corporations or whatever, it trickles down to the community in the end. They're just going to put these costs into their price of their product. So, you know, I own a Ford, and so the more they get sued, obviously if it's a valid claim, you would assume that the attorneys representing would hopefully settle and, you know, save everything. But there's lots of litigation happy people out there, sue happy people who it's like, oh, I spilled coffee on myself from McDonald's and now I'm suing.
Right.
Obviously we all know coffee is hot. Like, I don't know that you should be able to sue for that if you just accidentally spill your coffee on yourself.
This is the state of California. You can sue for about
Anything.
anything right now. Yeah.
So I see that. By the way, you said CYA. What's that? Just
Cover your own ass.
oh.
Yeah. You didn't know that? I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Okay, I was like thinking it was a legal term or
No.
something like that. I'm like, is that like a motion or something?
No.
Okay, well.
So Sanders Roberts has made my career the best that it's been so far.
Did you start
yeah, I was
with them
gonna
right
say
after
that.
law school?
I did not. I was with 2 firms before that. My
Oh.
first law firm was Borchard and Callahan. Austin and Tyler Borchard are both Western State grads
cool.
here,
Okay.
and so I went to go work for their dad.
Okay.
I learned a ton.
What kind of law was that?
Civil litigation
Okay.
and business defense. I've always done business defense. But it was a family-based law firm, and it really wasn't for me, and I was really trying to grow, and I wasn't trying to work for a family. I wanted to eventually be able to become part of a partnership or a team or some type of higher level management attorney and not just an associate.
Yeah.
So I moved on, and I went to another firm called Gates of Doherty, Gaunter and Guy, and they're actually right down the street here in Irvine off of Sand Canyon.
Okay.
And I worked there for about 1.5 years, and that's where I started working for Ford Motor Company.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even know what a lemon was or what lemon law meant when I started at that firm. And I had a personality that really fit that particular area of law, and I really grasped onto it. And I started doing lots of depositions, major court appearances. I got thrown into expert depositions, and I got thrown into some stuff that I thought was really complicated and really important. So I was really grateful for the opportunity. And then from there, I had found out about a position that opened up at Sanders Roberts that was taking over a bunch of files that I previously had worked on when I was
Convenient.
at the Irvine firm.
That's great.
And they were assigned as trial counsel for them. And I was kind of chasing this lead of files because I really, really, really wanted to go to trial.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the second firm I worked at promised me these things. They also promised me that I was going to be able to maintain my own book of business, which I was already coming in with one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important to me, you know. I'm a go-getter. I like meeting people. I want to be able to say when you walk into a law firm as a 4-year attorney that you've got a book of business. Because anything after that, you're just like a glorified young attorney. You know, you can't justify a firm paying you what you want to make if you are just an associate and you don't bring them any added value or profit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important for law students to understand from an early stage, because if you just are a 10, 12-year attorney and you don't have your own book of business, not to be mean, but really, what are you?
Yeah.
You know, what value are you adding to the firm? You're just really expensive because we have to bill you out really high, or we can just hire someone younger and bill you out much lower and make the clients happier.
Yeah.
And by book of business,
That's
you
it.
mean like a group of companies or individuals that will follow you to whatever firm you go to?
Yeah, they're my clients.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I leave my law firm, my clients go with me.
Okay.
And they travel with me. They've traveled with me through 3 firms now.
So you're
And-
saying that it's very important as a young attorney, once you're 4 or 5 years in, you should have already built some of that.
I think so.
And you develop that relationship how? Like you know, you're working for a firm and they say, hey, here's a new client we just signed or we've had, take them over. Now it's your case, you're working on it, you try and develop a relationship with them so that they want to stick with you. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You know, I give my business card to everyone. Everyone. I gave my business card to
You didn't give your business card to me.
I not
Oh my gosh.
Good point.
Wow, I guess I'm
Whatever.
I'm already cut off on the podcast. I can't even make truthful statements.
No, I just feel not important, but it's alright. I guess I'm just a lowly law school student.
Well, then I guess you're really gonna feel unimportant after I tell you this story.
Oh my god.
I gave my business card to a very nice lady the other day in Target, and she was just calling me out
At the cash register?
At the cash register.
Alright, I'm leaving.
And she gave me a call. She gave me a call, and it was for family law related stuff. I don't do family law.
But you refer.
I always refer it out. I've got Western State grads that
Mhm.
do family law, and they're amazing at it. One of them
That's
that I
awesome.
graduated with, and I send her all my family law work. I send her my best friends. I send her referrals.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, even though I didn't really get anything out of that relationship yet, you never know if she holds onto my card and something else comes up. If there's a criminal matter and,
Mhm.
you know, maybe she really liked the friend that I sent her
Mhm.
to, and then it comes back to me. So I go through my business cards like candy,
Okay.
and I suggest
That's a
you
good
do the same thing.
Yeah.
My boss right now, Justin Sanders, always tells me you never be nervous about asking for work and never be nervous about asking for money. And that's really, really, really important because money is a very sensitive topic. It's a sensitive topic when you're applying for a job. It's a sensitive topic when you're asking for a raise. It's a sensitive topic if you've been in a very unique position the way I have, where I've been subject to gender discrimination in my legal career. And I had to, you know, stand up for myself and tell someone this is not okay and you need to make it right. And they did, because I said something.
Okay.
So never be afraid to talk about money. Never be afraid to ask for business.
What do you mean? Ask who and talk to who about money? What are
Anyone.
you talking about? Like
Like,
your bosses?
Yes, your
Okay.
bosses, clients that
So you're
don't
saying
pay.
you should ask for raises?
Yes, ask for raises for sure.
So how is that, like, you know, being a minority and a woman, like, on top of that, you know, in the legal field?
I am happy that you brought that up.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat challenging. I don't know if it's like, oh my God, it's impossible the way some of our like left wing type of people really want to like represent minorities and women and all the other issues. Not trying to go any more into politics. I just feel like sometimes we've all gone too left and too right. And then because of that, there is no middle ground anymore, and it's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk
Totally
about
agree.
what I think from my personal perspective is that it's definitely getting better, but those challenges still exist. Those challenges still definitely exist. I work in a very male-dominated area
Industry?
of law,
Field,
right?
yeah,
You know,
that's-
I work with vehicles.
Mhm.
I was in
Oh,
a,
that's true.
yeah, I was in a deposition yesterday, and I was very surprised because even the court reporter was a guy, and it's usually a female.
Yeah.
It's usually like my cop out to go talk to a female.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was in a room with seven guys.
You're
You
the
were
only female?
And I was the only female.
You go, girl.
Thank you. But I'm
Girl
really
power.
used to it now. You know, like I'm used to walking into a room, and regardless of whether it's a deposition, a meeting with Ford, I'm used to always being the only girl. And because of that, sometimes I face a little bit of pushback from opposing counsel. Especially because they're always used to working with other guys and not as many females as well.
Especially young females.
And I get a lot of opposing counsel that get upset with me and then try to go talk to my boss about something that happened. And my boss is really great. All my bosses are really great at my firm. And they back me up 100%, you know, because I'm a managing attorney at my firm, so I manage the entire Ford account. There's some of it that I don't exclusively manage. All the trial work is managed by the partners. But I manage, you know, a good 75% of our Ford book.
Nice.
So because of that, you know, I have to make decisions that other people don't like. I have to make decisions that I don't like. And if you don't have a good support system to back that up as a young minority female, it becomes a lot harder. So I'm really grateful that my bosses will tell these guys, like, what Sabrina says goes. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to change her opinion, and I'm not going to change it on her behalf.
That's great. You need that.
And you do need that, and it's really important. It goes back to where we originally opened with my switch into Sanders Roberts, is that it's imperative that you find a place that you truly love, and you will know when you truly love it. There will be no doubt about that. And it took me 3 law firms to get there. So it's okay to be patient through the process, but at the same time, stick up for what you want.
So is that something that you know during the interview? You kind of know going into it, like, oh, I think I want to like this place. Or you have to like be there for a little bit and then.
I think you definitely have to be there for a little bit to know that. I don't think you can tell from an interview perspective where it's going to go. I've had the experience of being told that things would be a certain way as far as my job responsibilities went.
And then it turned out totally different.
And then they turned out totally different. Like, for example, I was told that I can maintain a book of business at a previous firm that I worked at. And every new client I tried to bring in, I got turned down. They're not fulfilling what they promised me they were going to fulfill. I didn't just tell you that I wanted to bring a book of business because I wanted you to hire me, right? I told you I wanted a book of business because I truly want a book of business. So I let that play out like that only for a couple of months before I just said, all right, I'm done. I need to go somewhere else. I did go somewhere else, and I made it very clear in my interview with third firm, this is what I want, this is what I was promised, and I was not given that. And I'm not going to go to a different firm that's going to promise me that and not give it to me. And the guys that I work for have 150% lived up to their expectations, my expectations. I'm hoping that I'm living up to their expectations, and it's been a really good experience because, you know, 4 years in, you're thinking to yourself like, all right, when am I going to find that job where I can wake up every single morning and say I love what I do, right? After all the money we've spent, the time we've spent, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears that we've been through. So you'll get there, but you have to fight to get there.
Let me ask you another question. How does your firm feel about you running for city council?
They're happy with it. I mean, I don't really talk to them that much about it because we're so busy. But they're very supportive. And
Are they like, have they donated? Are they like bankrolling you at all? Because to me, as a firm, I feel like that would be a really good look for my firm. Yeah, even though I don't even know where they're located, but it doesn't matter. Just having like, oh yeah, she's a, city councilwoman.
I have not received a contribution from Sanders Roberts, and it's because I have not asked for one.
Okay.
I have really tried to keep my career and the politics as separate as I possibly can. One of my biggest contributors is one of my biggest clients from my own book of business.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
But at the same time, you have to be careful, right? Because they have expectations, I have expectations, and then we all still have to go through litigation. And, my client can't just walk away one day and say, guess what, I'm taking all my files. I mean, he can, but what I'm trying to get at is that the procedure for that is much more involved than just walking away. I'm counsel of record on multiple pleadings in different courthouses, So all of that stuff needs to be transferred, and retainers need to be returned, and it's a much more involved process to lose a big client like that. So I try to keep work and politics for now until I really get a grasp of what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it separate, and then once I really know what I'm doing, then I can muddle the two. The other thing is that I don't want to put myself in a position, if I'm elected, where I have to recuse myself too much.
Okay.
And that's also a concern, because I do represent a lot of businesses in Fullerton, and if they come up on any licensing approval or anything like that, I'm not allowed to vote on that stuff because it's a conflict. So I think for now I've just kind of kept it separate, but I'm sure that they would be happy to contribute if I did.
I was just kind of wondering how you've been bankrolling your campaign and stuff. Is it a lot of self-funded? Like, do you spend a lot of money out of your own pocket? Are you getting donations on your website from local people in the community?
Yes, donations, local people in the community, and local businesses. And then
Nice.
I can spend my own money, but I technically have to take it out as a loan to myself and replace that money with contributed money.
Really?
So I can contribute money, but I can only contribute just as much as anybody could contribute. So I can't just pull $50,000 out of the bank and pour it into my campaign.
There's laws and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so.
The Fair Political Practice Commissioner, could yank me from the election for doing stuff like that. And that's part of what I was saying earlier, that this stuff is so new to me.
Yes.
That there's so many rules and regulations to learn that I'm still trying to get a grasp on it, but it's been fun either way. So.